Stitches Quilting, and I wanted to go ahead and we are going to quilt the Stitch Happens sewing machine quilt. So I have got it right here, and you can see this is a quilt that is, what does the pattern say, 37 inches by 40 inches, so 37 by 40 inches. So it's not that big of a project, and it's just a really fun quilt to make. I've loved all the bright colors in this that I have worked with. I worked this morning on layering the quilt and getting it all ready. And I used for my backing fabric an aqua color. And with that, I am going to go ahead and use this cucumber color of thread. That is, hi Liz, how are you? It's good to see you. Hi Molly, it's good to see you. I'm going to use this cucumber color. It's kind of like almost like a green or a blue, a greenish blue. And this looks really great on the back. And it also looks really great as a neutral on the top with all of those colors. And so we're going to kind of experiment with that. But before I do any quilting, I always kind of pull out my thread and I look at it with the backing and with the front of it. So, I don't know. How do you guys do that? Hi Peter, how are you? It's good to see you. Sometimes I use this. Sometimes I pick out my backing based on what color thread I want to put on my front. So I know on this quilt, I don't really want, I mean, it'd be really fun to have like maybe a variegated thread. It'd be fun to, your background matches my glasses. It does, Liz, you are right about that. That is too fun. But yeah, so sometimes, how do you guys pick out your backing and your thread when you're quilting a project? So hello, Lynette. Hi, Dolores. It's so good to see all of you guys. So, but let me know, what kind of tips do you guys have for when you pick out your backing fabric or your thread when you're actually going to start quilting? So this quilt was really fun and easy to do. I have just really digged all the bright colors that are on this. I went with this aqua color of, on the bottom, I wanted to go with teal. So my teal is right here, and I thought that would pop really well, but I didn't use any teal in the quilt. So I decided to go ahead and put the aqua on the bottom, and it just kind of maybe pulls the spool of thread better with this. I really think either way would have been just fine. So backing matches the binding for me. I agree, Lynette. I think it's really fun when the binding and the backing match. I totally agree with that. Hello, Annette. Hi. Hi, everybody. It's so good. I do all quilting in white, and white is a great color to do all the quilting. Now, this pattern, this quilt is by Kelly Fannin. It's the Stitch Happens quilt pattern, and then we also sell the quilt pattern and the entire kit for just $43, and it comes with all of your white, which we actually put in a cloud fabric, a Riley Blake solid that is cloud, so it's not too stark of a white. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, give me your ideas on quilting the quilt. I know, I can't believe that I finished it, well, since Monday, but I can't believe that this was not finished, is what I can't believe, Dolores. And I know why it wasn't finished. In fact, here is Liz's basket, and now all it has in there are the quilt markers. Remember the color guide that I have for you guys for this? That comes with the kit, and that's free on Stitches Quilting. So if you're interested in knowing about the pattern or anything like that, just go ahead and put something in there. But look, it's empty, Liz. Isn't that so fun, you guys? So the basket is empty except for those little triangles where I would put it in the Ziploc bag after I did. So that was really fun. But I know why I put off this quilt, because I wanted to switch out a color from something I had pulled for the original one, and I went and I cut out the right size squares, and then it just kind of got shoved to the side and I didn't get it done. So that's what happened there. So pretty crazy how something like that you absolutely love. But I do have another one of these that my niece made when she was working with me. Okay, how are we gonna quilt this quilt, you guys? let's go ahead and figure out how we are going to quilt this quilt. Okay, so, oh, we need to turn off the ringer and all of that kind of stuff. Lots of noises going on. How should we quilt this quilt? Last night when I went to bed, I thought I wanted to maybe do like a grid, you know, kind of on point, and kind of do it like a lattice. Does that make sense? And then I thought about doing it like a plaid. You maybe with lines going this way and then lines going this way, just up and down, almost like a checkerboard grid. And then I thought, well, wouldn't that be fun to maybe do a plaid and kind of offset some of the, oh, Alma, you hand quilted your Stitch Happens quilt? Circles. I know somebody, I was in the Everyone Can Quilt. I created a room today when I was pinning and basting this, and Kimberly Norman suggested maybe some movement in there and some circles. So I agree with you. Circles would be really a lot of fun. Wouldn't it be fun to kind of start a circle maybe right, my hair is on this, right, like right here, and then, you know, kind of concentrically offset the circles and have it grow out? Oh my gosh. You guys have got the best ideas. I am so stumped. So, but then I sat down here and I had washed my quilted pillow for the Healthcare Hero quilt. And I actually was going to re-stitch this because I put my envelope on backwards, which was kind of dumb, but that's what you do when you're sewing live videos. But then I looked at this and I was like, oh, this is so pretty. And, you know, the quilting that we did on this, where we just did the straight lines and then, you know, swooped some lines. So then I also wanted to show you guys, this is the We Are All in This Together pattern, this one right here. And I wanted to show you that I've got most of this done. So I need quilting ideas for this. I'm sorry I'm getting distracted, but, you know, it's just so fun. But what, is there anything I should do in between the people or on the houses? So, and I kind of did that same technique of the quilting, the straight lines, and then doing a little wave. And I thought that that was really awesome because, you know, this whole COVID thing has been one big wave, right? So anyways, so give me some ideas for this. I'm just curious, you know, what ideas you guys have for this one right here. If I should just let this be or quilt more inside it. This one hasn't been washed. But boy, after this is washed, it's so pretty. I don't know. Dolores, how did you hand quilt it? Oh my gosh. You guys want me to do circles? Okay, I'm going to have to run downstairs and go get my circle template. I wish there was someone home with me. Well, we could start. Okay, we could do a circle. We could do a circle. Okay, so, you know what? I like it. Let's just be spontaneous. I think the circles would be a lot of fun. And let's do something fun. And let's do something different, okay? And because this is very geometric, and so the circles would be kind of fun with it. So let's just be spontaneous. So I have got a pack of Frixon pens. I don't know if you guys have... Dolores, I thought the same thing. I wouldn't mess with the people much. Lynette, I kind of agree with you. And then Dolores, you just said, just in the lines. I agree. Oh, that's what you did was stitch. You hand quilted it just in the lines. And to tell you the truth, okay. Anyways, but yeah, that would be really neat to do that. Okay, I do have a circle template that's downstairs, but I'm not going to worry about a circle template. That's where my long arm is. I do have some circle rulers down there, but we're going to use a piece of string and our pen, and we are going to increase the length of it. A big stitch about 1/4 inch from the line. I want to see yours again. I'm going to have to go search the Facebook group. Okay, so I'm going to grab some string. Let me think about this for a minute. So let's just be spontaneous. I keep storage items back here. Let's see if I've got some string. You know what? Okay, we're going to go even more spontaneous. So we're going to make this work. Because I think this is going to be this is a great idea. So I have got, let's just use this, okay? So instead of a string, we have some fabric, right? So let's go ahead and snip this fabric and let's just tear it, okay? I think that'll work for right now, okay? Let's just go with that because, I mean, I got gobs of fabric here, right? We all do. So we're going to just be spontaneous. Okay, I am going to find, where do you think we should start the circle for this quilt? Let's look at this. Why don't we start it kind of right here? I mean, I don't know. What do you think? How about right here? Let's start it maybe right where that safety pin is, right there. How does that sound? Let's start it right there. You have a kit, but you're struggling with the tiny squares. I'm sorry. Let's see here. How can I help you? You know what? Let's get into the Facebook group and I can help you with the kit, okay? If you're struggling with the little squares, let's do it. Okay, we're going to start the circles. Let's see. Let me hold this up again. Right here. Okay, I'm going to hold this. All right? And then what we are going to do, so let me stick another pin in it so I know right where we're going to start that. So I'm going to cross my little pins right at that point. Or maybe I'll just use the Frixion pen. Hold on. So now a Frixion pen, where did the Frixion pens go? Okay, here they are. So the Frixion pen, what's really nice about a Frixion pen is you can work with it and then it will disappear from your quilt with heat, okay? So I'm going to just mark this little center point right here on the quilt. And I'm just using a purple right now because purple works. We are in a white area. I could use chalk, and I've got chalk markers, or not markers, but chalk to use too, okay? I'm just going to use this for the moment because it's easy at this very, very moment. Okay, so I've got a little point right there where we are going to start this. Stitch around the people with a 1/4 inch. Yeah, free motion. Free motion quilting. You know what? You guys have the best ideas. Okay. All right, so let's keep going. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, let's see here, let's measure a distance. How big? Let's maybe do our first circle about this big. So I'm going to tie this to this pen. All right? In fact, let's just do this. Let's put the fabric right up there with the cap of the pen. Let's kind of stick it up in there. And here, let's just shove it up there. Okay, there. It's, I think, let's see if it's, nope, we need to have that go a little bit more. Okay, wait 1 second. And then we are going to measure this from the edges. Okay, all right. Now, I'm going to hold this, maybe about that big. Oh, let's switch the camera view. Sorry, guys. And let's lay this flat. Let's switch the camera view to overhead. Okay, here we are. And maybe let's push the sewing machine away and hope that I don't blow anything off of the... Okay, I've got some rulers underneath here. Now, if you wanted to do this with straight line quilting, you could do this with the Frixion pens or some chalk with some straight line quilting. If you really wanted your quilt to be super duper straight. Unless you just wanted it to be more fluid. Okay, you guys, I like to do it so it's easy. I hope you guys aren't discouraged about this. Because we can do anything with this. All right, so I am going to hold this right here. And in fact, I think I'm going to mark it. I'm going to use a Sharpie marker and I'm going to mark it where my very first line is going to be. So you can see that I'm marking this. All right, so I've got a mark right here. So that's where I'm going to put it on that little circle. Okay, and I'm going to have to be careful that these pins don't get in the way. Let me make sure there's nothing else underneath here. But that's fine. I think we're doing good. Okay, so I'm going to put that right on. Oops. You know what? We're going to have to tie this. Let's tie this to the pen and maybe tape it. I've got my painter's tape out. So let's put some painter's tape on this. So if you had this, you could do this with some string and then just do some concentric circles out. And once we have our first circle, we could actually use, hold on, let me find my painter's tape. I just had it out a minute ago. Maybe I did put it away. So what I did today, and I did a little live video of it. Yep, there it is. In the Everyone Can Quilt group. So here's my painter's tape. So I'm going to secure this here. So once we do the first circle, then we can go ahead and just use the arm of our of our quilting foot. Okay, I'm going to go like this. Let's tape that string to the pin. Okay, we got it. Now, after we do this, we're going to put this arm on the quilting foot. So this is not going to be that difficult at all. All right, I'm going to now measure once again what my circle is going to look like. I think I'm going to have it about that distance. So I know about where I was starting. So I'm marking my string so I can be, you know, pretty sure. I'm going to put that down where that little purple point is. And I'm going to just draw right around this. And remember, this is a Frixion pen. So this Frixion pen is going to disappear with a little bit of, let me make sure I've got this good, with a little bit of an iron. Okay, I'm going to turn this a little bit. Make sure I've got this right. So when heat is applied to this Frixion pen, then I'm going to pivot this so I've got enough space here. And let me pivot this so I've got the right amount of space. Okay, here we go. Bring that down just a little bit more. And then when we apply heat to this, this will go away. So if we can just start something like this, and let me just go ahead and bring this in just a little bit more. And because I just want to have a little bit more confidence where I'm going to start that. And we could do a smaller circle within there. Okay, and I'll put that on later. I'm going to cover up my Frixion pen now. So let me take this off. I'm going to put the lid back on because I don't want to lose it. And I'm also going to put it back in here because, you know, whenever we're quilting and sewing, we always lay something on there. Okay, I'm going to pull in my sewing machine now. And I have my walking foot on. You can quilt without a walking foot, right? And let me take these pins down. I don't need a bunch of pins laying around. And let's go ahead and put this on here. All right, so I am going to circle, and then I'm going to attach my guide foot to my walking foot, and I'm going to just follow that line as we go further and further out. Okay. So let's just go ahead and follow this. Once again, I'm using this. Oh, let me make sure my needle stays down. Want my needle to stay in the down position as I pivot this quilt around. If you don't have a needle up, needle down position, you're going to want to rotate it on the side of your machine. So before you pivot your quilt, you're going to want to rotate. Okay? So I can pivot it back up. And let's go a few. This will be easier as the circle gets bigger and bigger. Okay. And if you felt like, you know, as you're doing this, I'm going to take out a pin. Well, I think I'll be fine with that pin in there. If you feel like things aren't going as perfect, remember that if your circles are not as perfect as you want them to be, don't feel like you have to abandon your project or take things out. Just go ahead and add, where's my little pillow cover that I'm taking apart for real fast? Where'd it go? I don't know. But remember, add a squiggly line in there, okay? Just be consistently inconsistent as you are quilting. And that will make it look just so beautiful. So that's the biggest trick to just quilting on your own and not overthinking and having it be too perfect. Which perfect is fine, you know, but sometimes, you know, getting things done is also good. So let's go ahead and take this off for a minute. Oh, I didn't heat up my iron. I was over there pinning the quilt. Okay, so I am going to put now my guide foot in the back of my walking foot. Let's see. For that small of a circle, I would trace around a bowl or plate. I agree with you. I totally agree with you on that. As I was doing it, I thought of that too. Anyways, but I thought maybe I would keep making it larger with the string. But you know what? I totally agree with you. A cup. Oh gosh, I could have used this right here to trace around that. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put in my guide in the back of my walking foot. So for those of you, does everybody understand what this is right here? what that guide is. So I'm going to slide this into the back of my walking foot. And I would alter the width between your circles, okay? So I would have some be a certain length, and then I would increase it. Because once again, you're being consistently inconsistent. And if things aren't perfect, something's not going to be thrown off. Now, for me, with my little guide back there, I have to use my painter's tape. So just a second. Now, where have I set that? That's so funny. Oh, here. It's right underneath the pins. It's amazing when something is just sitting there right in front of you. So I am going to, my guide, I've had this sewing machine for a really, really long time. My guide doesn't stay in there just perfectly. I have to tape it back here, just kind of to the back of my walking foot. Do you guys want me to take that off so you can see what that looks like? Now, once again, I'm going to start quilting, and I'm going to use this guide. Let me see here. I wish that I should maybe have my third camera up, but that's okay. I'm going to now use this little arm right here to then walk me around that circle. Okay? And once again, my needle is in the down position. So I'm going to take off my walking foot, and then I'm going to just keep going around and around on this quilt, and I'm going to just follow the edge of the circles, and I'm going to do various widths around it so that if something gets slightly wonky, I'll be just fine. And I might even put in maybe a curvy one. So, because I know when I'm quilting or sewing, somebody calls me or something's going on and something gets just a little bit wonky. And when you long arm, I do have a long arm downstairs, so when I long arm, I definitely, my long arm is not computerized. In some ways, nowadays, it would be nice to have that, but boy, that is so expensive to have a computerized long arm. Okay, so we've got now this outer circle around this inner circle. Oh, let's bring this in a little closer. Okay, let's bring that in a bit closer here. And hold on for, oh, wait, just one moment. Let me go ahead and make sure, because I did not change the post, so that if you guys are wanting to find out where you get the pattern for this or where to get the tips for this, you'll know what webpage to go to. So on Facebook, if you're wanting the tips for this, let me go ahead and open up Facebook so I can see really fast. Just one moment. I'm sorry, guys. Then that way I can see. Okay, here we go. So let's keep going. But if you're interested in the pattern for this quilt or for the kit, the fabric kit for this, the fabric kit is $45. So it's really pretty affordable. For those of you guys that have done this pattern, how long do you think it takes to actually sew this? It doesn't take that long, right? I would say just a couple days, maybe a day for cutting out all your pieces. You kind of want to cut everything out first and then add to it. Okay, so let's go ahead. I've got this right here. I'm going to hold this in place to kind of knot that thread. And let's go ahead and take this off, and we're going to make sure that that Frixion pen is going to go away. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So I could take out this center pin right here, and the iron is now warm enough. Okay, so we've got this dot right here, and this that I used with the Frixion pens. Now we're going to make sure that that goes away. Look at that. So it went away. So it's looking good right there. I think that looks great. So now I'm going to just go ahead and follow this around and around as I go. So let's go ahead and put this in here. And I'm going to consistently change my length around these circles so that it has a fluidness to it. Let me go ahead and put this between the feet there. And let's go ahead and do another one. This will be really fun. So I'm going to increase. So let me take off my foot real fast so you guys can see this part. I want you guys to see. Okay, so this is my walking foot. that I put on my sewing machine whenever I quilt. And the benefit of using a walking foot is this moves. As the feed dogs move, this moves too. And it helps move the fabric through from the top or the bottom. And then this is a separate piece that comes with your walking foot. And you can see there's a little groove right back here. And I take this guide and I put it in there. In the old days, it would really stay. But as I'm kind of modeling or pushing through fabric or a large quilt through here, this might get moved from one point to another. So that's why I put some tape back here. And I will go ahead and fasten, and I'm going to do a little bit bigger of a circle around this now. I will go ahead and I will tape this in place so that this will not move or jiggle. And then as I'm stitching, I'm using this guide to stitch around here and to know how big I'm going to stitch the next circle. Does that make sense? I should have my other, hi Roma. It's Canada Day, yay! Oh wow, it is. It's quarantine style to do. Here in Utah, we actually are not doing fireworks here. Are you guys still doing fireworks and things like that? You guys are doing better in Canada than us here in the United States. The United States, oop, I've got to put this other part on. The United States is just crazy with this COVID thing. They've canceled fireworks here in Utah. So yeah, it is. It's a different style of celebrating, isn't it? Are you guys doing anything special for Canada Day? Please let me know what you guys are doing. I'm going to hopefully just cook something really awesome and have a great barbecue. Okay, so I have now fixed that. Let's bring the sewing machine back in. And once again, I'm going to use this guide as I'm going around this circle. Look, you guys get me to do the funnest things. Okay, my foot has kind of come off. My foot pedal, the little control. There we go. We've got the foot pedal working again. Okay, so once again, I'm going to use this guide as I go around this circle. Okay, and I think I will also do just a little bit of, I think on these smaller circles, we have to be a little bit more careful as we're stitching. You're going to want to pivot and start and stop a little bit faster, a little bit more frequently than when you're on the outer part, because it'll just be less at a diameter. Here we go. I have used a small piece of batting that I had laying around. Do you guys save your batting scraps? The Prime Minister was on TV today, so we are all staying quiet. That's wonderful. I'm so proud of you guys. I really am. You're putting a backyard tent to have a family star watching. No outdoor fires allowed. So no fire puts, no s'mores. Okay, wow. We've had some fires here in Utah, which we don't normally have a lot of fires. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, I think it's kind of a time to be careful. I think where I live, there is actually no fireworks allowed. If it isn't right where I live, where your people are just kind of putting them up by themselves, shooting off fireworks. But they're not doing a big fireworks show here in Utah. So they've kind of canceled those. I don't know, maybe there's one city that is. Normally we would have like maybe, 6 different cities doing fireworks shows all at the same time. But my understanding is they're not doing it, but I don't know. I don't watch the news and I don't, follow everything as closely as some other people might. I'm not as good about that. Okay, so I'm pivoting around and then I'm going to do one more. So Liz says that yes, she saves her batting scraps. Okay, so on this quilt, I was just short, and I'm taking out my safety pins as I'm going. I was just short this much of a batting piece just in this one corner. So I went ahead and I added a batting piece to this, and I'm going to make sure that when I go back over this, either I'm going to go ahead and put I'm going to stitch this together. So there's just a small triangle of batting there. And I love, it just makes me feel so good to use my smaller batting scraps. I don't know, it just makes me feel like I'm being resourceful and I'm being, I don't know, it just feels a lot better. Okay, I'm going to stitch in place for 1 second instead of doing back stitches. I'm just kind of stitching in place to tie that knot off. Okay, so now let's go ahead. I'm going to make this even bigger. Let's go ahead and do this one more time around, and then I will let you guys go. And you know what I'll be doing? I'm going to sit here with my circles. So I'm going to expand this off just a little bit more. Maybe you'll try the AP you put on the phone, and the phone towards the sky, and it's supposed to make a 3-minute firework display above you. I love it. That is so fun. Really? I've got to look into that. What app is that? Yeah, I save my batting scraps because you never know when you need a piece. And I totally agree. I save my batting scraps, and you know, sometimes they work for like a little baby quilt or a table runner, or you can piece them together, or making some hot pads. There's so many different things that we can use our batting scraps for. So I totally agree. I just have like a bin, and then when I need something, a pillow, then I just kind of go through those batting scraps and figure out what I want to do. So, and look at the different pieces. So it sure was handy with those jelly roll quilts to do the jelly roll quilts, don't you think? Or not the quilts, but the rugs. The jelly roll rugs, I would use up my scraps for those. In fact, there are a few new patterns for the jelly roll rugs that she published, and I'm kind of anxious to try one of those. There's one that's a straight line pattern where it's just like straight back and forth, and then one that's an oval size. So she's got some different patterns out there. Maybe we'll have to do that. And that was a great way to use up scraps, was with those jelly roll rugs. I loved it. A lot of people purchased their own batting strips for the jelly roll rugs, but boy, I sure enjoyed using up my scraps. And people would call me at the Stitches Quilting, do you guys see my thread color? See how pretty it is? But it looks definitely white on there. Doesn't it look? It looks definitely white. Okay, you guys, I'm so excited about this. You know what I'm going to be doing the rest of my day. Do you ever use an extension table with my machine? You know what? I don't have an extension table. I did for a little bit. I bought one that was supposed to come with the machine, but I didn't feel like it was real sturdy, and I don't have my machine that's you know, built into the table. I do have some quilting gloves, and we have some quilting gloves that are for sale at Stitches Quilting, but you know, I don't know. I just kind of enjoy just kind of getting in there. Okay, I just went to finish that, and I'm going to just finish that off right there. Okay, so you guys, I think this is a great start. Let me go ahead and trim these threads so I'm not pulling all my thread out. I don't have another thing of that thread. So, okay, let's go ahead and go back to the front camera. I'm so excited. Oh, wow, that looks pretty. Okay, let's go. Here, look, you guys can see that? But let me hold up the big camera. Let's go ahead and switch the screen. Okay, you guys, look at that. That looks like fun. Let me move this over so I can see what you guys are seeing. Okay, that is really fun. Look at that. And it really gives it some, okay, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to, I got to figure out which way to hold this. Okay, but that looks really pretty. I like it. Okay, go over this way. So as that goes out, it's going to give it some movement. Really, though, I like to keep things simple for you guys. But it's fun to show you guys how to do something spontaneous, how to do something that's fun and different in a quilting. I know you guys have seen me do all of these other quilting techniques, but I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing something new and different, and how easy it would be, And maybe we just need to do a machine quilting series with your domestic sewing machine. So you don't have to pay to have them long-armed. But, or, you know, having them paid to be long-armed is great too. But sometimes just feeling like you've got that reserve, or this is a great quilt to experiment on and do that. But this is kind of my go-to way that I like to quilt. But I am really excited about this, and I am going to finish this quilting and then post that up for you guys. I'm so excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, anyways, let me know what you guys are working on. If anybody wants this pattern, it really is a quick sew. I wanted to show you guys how easy it can be to quilt this on your domestic sewing machine. Maybe I made it a little bit too hard. I feel bad about that. But if you're interested in the pattern, just say something like, I'd like to know how to get the pattern or whatever. On Facebook, it will tell you how to do that. Yeah, Brandy, I can't wait to see it done too, and bound. I need to bind this little table runner right here. I'm just so excited. But we go ahead and we curate a bunch of bright colors for you. It's only $43, I think $45. You guys, I can't remember. All of you guys that ordered it yesterday, they're all completely shipped and sent out to you. So anyways, but just to let you know, it's a fun kit. It's a quick sew. It feels good, and I cannot wait to have this hanging in my sewing studio. And I can't wait to put it up there. Yes, so Liz is sewing the houses for this. We are all in this together quilt. And I have a new version for you guys, for those of you guys that have purchased the pattern, of a half square triangle up here on the roof, so that it can be easier and can go faster for you. So I always want to remove any pain points that there are. So anyway, so I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know I'll be shooting that update to that pattern so that you can do half square triangles on the roof, or you can do these half rectangle triangles too. So anyways, yes, Margaret, I have 19 patterns left of the Stitch Happens. 3 of them are posted as just the pattern for sale. The rest are posted as kits. So if I need to move some more over to patterns, I will definitely do that. But once I sell out of these, I do get this directly from Kelly Fannin, the pattern designer. She's a friend of mine. And so I do order them, and I order them directly from her. So just to benefit her a little bit more. So it would take me time to get those back in stock. So if you are interested in it, go and grab it. It's only $9 on my website. And I will snail mail you the pattern. So anyways, okay, well, I can't wait to see. And remember, we're doing this as a community quilt. So if you can sew together a little people or a little house with the We Are All In This Together quilt, we are doing that as a community quilt and having everybody just send in their little blocks. And I think it's going to be really a lot of fun. But I'm sewing mine outside. I have set up a sewing machine out on our back covered patio, and my cutting station. And I have an iron out there, and I've been sewing all of my little people and houses out there, which has been really a lot of fun. All right, you guys, I will be back Friday at noon. And I will see you then. And what should we make on Friday? Oh, one other thing. Has anybody made, look at what I found. I found this gauze that is like a red and white gingham. And it's a gauze fabric. And this is what Ellie always sleeps in. We swaddle her up in this. And so has anybody made a little swaddle blanket? Yes, Molly, go to the website and stitchesquilting.com, and that's where you can get the pattern for, it's called We Are All In This Together quilt. So it's kind of like all of us in the COVID stuff, you know, staying home and being 6 feet apart, or just, you know, curing the world all together and curing, you know, just everything, you know, because that's what it is. That's what it's all about. Anyway, so I'm going to make a little swaddle blanket. Has anybody done that with the gauze? If you have, private message me. But I am dying to just kind of pull this around and make a little swaddle blanket for my house for Ellie when she naps here, and then make another one because I think it's just so festive and fun. So I pulled that out yesterday. Too many things, but I tell you, I look forward to waking up every day and being with you guys, and also just making and creating and trying to make the world a better place. So anyways, I love you guys tons, and I'll see you again on Friday at noon, and of course I'll be posting in between. So can't wait to see you guys. We'll see you later. Have fun. Bye.